2 officers were killed. A 3rd officer managed to escape with a gunshot wound to his leg. Freeman has escaped the area. He has fled into remote wilderness and remains at large as we speak. Police officers were called to Dezi Freeman's address at about 10 a.m. on Tuesday to execute a warrant. Reports are that they entered a bus where Mr. Freeman was staying to execute that warrant. At least 3 officers entered that bus where he has reportedly produced a firearm, a homemade shotgun, and started firing away. 2 officers were killed in that. Well, you can't even call it an exchange. By the sounds of it, it was more akin to an execution. A 59-year-old detective, within the last weeks of his tour of duty as a police officer, another senior constable was also killed in the bus. A 3rd officer managed to escape with a gunshot wound to his leg. The rest of the officers had to pull back, of course, and call in backup, wait for the SOG, a highly skilled, highly trained special operations group. While that was happening, Freeman has escaped the area. He has fled into remote wilderness and remains at large as we speak. So police face a challenging task out here. As you can see behind me, it is some rugged terrain. It's freezing cold out here. It's rainy. It's foggy. The conditions out in the bush are extreme. They have every man and little dog out here. There is a huge police van has been set up. They've told me a helicopter is about to come in and resume that search overnight. They were using sort of heat technology to try to find Freeman in the bush. Apparently he's got some pretty decent skills out in the bush. He's not just some lunatic. He knows the terrain, may or may not have set up campsites out there. There's talk that maybe he set up in a cave. Has he set up a bunker? We don't know, but it sounds like he could be a bit of a survivalist, and police will be hoping to apprehend him sooner rather than later, because, I mean, the more the time drags on, the more difficult it is going to be to find him, how far into the bush he's going to go. Did he have vehicles set up somewhere to make an escape? Has he had any assistance? These are all questions we don't know the answers to. Police, thankfully, have his wife and his children in protection now. There was some early speculation that perhaps they'd been taken hostage. That was incorrect. As it stands at the minute, it's like finding a needle in a haystack out there. It really resembles the old Rambo First Blood movie. How do you find this guy? We're just going to have to wait and see. Dezi Freeman is a father of 2. He's really came to public attention in around 2020. He was a sort of a fringe dweller, an otherwise ordinary country person living out here. And in 2020, he got into pretty basic sort of trouble with the police. They pulled him over for speeding. He contested the speeding fine. He took it all the way to the Supreme Court. So he's what's known as a sovereign citizen. And these people have always sort of existed in Australia, but we never really heard much of anything about them. There was a few cases, if you Google them, that were out there, but during the COVID lockdowns, these people sort of became more mainstream because they were enabled in a lot of ways by the anger in the community. So these people who were sort of in the shadows became sort of mainstream. They were kind of fueled and egged on by ordinary Victorians who were fed up with the lockdown. So a bloke like Dezi Freeman started to get a lot of mainstream support in the general community, and it enabled these guys. And he was very active on social media. He did not hide his contempt for the law and for the police. And sadly, it has culminated in what we've seen over the last day and a bit. A sovereign citizen is effectively someone who does not recognise the law of the land. They don't recognise the government, and they do not abide or adhere to the laws of ordinary Australian citizen. There are some sovereign citizens out there who have actually been able to negotiate their own kingdoms in other parts of Australia. It's hard to know how many of them there are out there, but you'll see them with stickers on their cars. During the COVID pandemic, they seem to be able to sort of link together and create an even larger community. But, effectively they're lawless. They abide by their own rules. They won't recognise any of the rules of the land and think they can carry on and do as they please. And Mr. Freeman's going to find out very quickly, very soon, that he will pay the price of the laws of this land.
We have deployed all specialist resources into the area to arrest the person responsible. This is a terribly tragic event for the Victoria Police, the police family, but not just here, across the country.